Hello and welcome. My name is Ellen with Ellen Estelle, and today I'm going to be showing you how to sew Simplicity S9012, a Cynthia Rowley dress. This dress does have a lot of fullness to it, so I decided to cut out a medium, but I would keep in mind that there is an underarm seam here, and it may pull up if you do make it a little too small, especially with the gathering at the neckline. If I were to do it again, I would cut a large and then I would just take it in at the sides. For this dress, it's recommended to use a cotton lawn, a lightweight sateen, silky types, soft cotton types, or soft linen types. It's recommended to use a package of 1/2 inch single fold bias tape and a package of 1/4 inch white elastic. I used a fabric purchased from Mood. It's a lightweight silky type with a nice hand feel. I did a detachable belt. There is an option to do a second ruffle on your sleeves, a ruffle along the neckline. There is no center back seam and there are no notions besides the elastic. In this tutorial, I will show you how to use elastic thread instead of the elastic and bias tape. I will also show you how to do a really small baby hem. I did a baby hem along every raw edge. So on the ruffle on the top and the bottom, along the sleeve, along the neckline, as well as the hem. Keep watching to learn more. First, start out by cutting out your pattern pieces. The sleeves are really wide, so you may need to unfold your fabric and cut them out one at a time. Make sure to transfer all your markings and notches, including the gathering line. First, start by sewing your front and back pieces together with right sides together along the side seams. Finish the raw edges and press the seams towards the back. Then, fold your sleeves in half with right sides together. Sew along the side seam, finish the raw edges and press. Attach your sleeves to your armhole with right sides together on both sides. Finish and press the seams. I went ahead and finished the raw edge of my neckline with a baby hem. I will show you how I did it, but first, the pattern calls for a casing to be added to the neckline so you can insert elastic. I'm going to show you how I use elastic thread to gather in one simple step. First, I'm going to start by hand winding the elastic thread around my bobbin and inserting it into the machine. The top thread will stay the regular thread. I would suggest practicing first and playing around with the tension and thread length to determine the best combination for your fabric type. The elastic thread automatically gathers the fabric. No pulling or finessing needed. So for this pattern, I went ahead and marked the gathering line as indicated on the pattern all around the right side of my fabric with my fabric marker. Then I followed the line with my right side facing up so that the regular thread is the one showing on the outside. For added gathering and security, I sewed another line above and below for 3 rows of gathering stitches. The distance between the stitching lines is up to you. I chose to sew them 1 presser foot length apart. Now the nice thing about elastic thread is that it will shrink up and gather more tightly with steam applied. So be sure to do this to get the best results. Now onto the ruffles on the sleeves. With right sides together, fold your lower ruffles in half and sew them together at the side seams. Finish the raw edges and press. Repeat for the upper ruffles. The pattern calls for a narrow hem of 3/8 inch. Now I chose to do a baby hem for all my edges. There are a couple of methods for doing this, but I chose to use my baby hem presser foot. The hardest part when sewing a baby hem is to get started. To make it easier, I would suggest sewing a straight line of stitches about 2 inches long along the raw edges, leaving the thread tails. Hold onto this thread tail and carefully insert your raw edge into the presser foot. The trick is to get the raw edges to roll under right away. It can be difficult to do when you don't have a knee lever to raise or lower your presser foot. Practice makes perfect. Once your fabric is inserted into the presser foot and is rolling under, you just need to make sure to keep it consistent. You need to allow enough of the raw edge to be under the presser foot so that it will catch and roll under. But too much and it won't roll. Seams can also be tricky to do with baby hems. I suggest clipping the edge of your seam allowance at a 45-degree angle to reduce bulk. You may also need to lift your presser foot to make sure that the seam goes under. Don't be afraid to unpick your hem, especially at the point in which you began. It's a lot easier to fix the baby hem while you are still sewing than it is to take it out and fix it later. Now once you finish the hem of your lower ruffle, attach it to the bottom of the sleeve with right sides together. Finish the raw edges and press. Repeat for the other side. For the upper ruffle, you will need to finish the top and bottom raw edges. Once I did that, I marked the gathering line just as I did at the neckline and sewed with my elastic thread 1 row of stitching. Repeat this for the second ruffle. Then, with the wrong side of your ruffle, pin it to the outside of your garment sleeve. Match up the gathering line with the seam on your sleeve. Sew your upper ruffle to the sleeve along this gathered stitching line. Sew as close to the original stitching as possible. And make sure it is right along the sleeve seam of the sleeve and lower ruffle. Your sleeve should then look like this. Then all you need to do is hem your dress. I did a baby hem again. For the finishing touches, you can sew the sash. With the right sides together, sew the sash pieces together at one of the shorter ends. Finish the raw edge and press. Then fold your sash in half the long way and with right sides together, sew the raw edges together all the way around. Leave an opening about 2 inches wide along the longer edge. Finish the raw edges, but be sure to leave the opening. Now clip the corners along the shorter ends at a 45-degree angle. Then pull the fabric through the opening and flip it right side out. Press the corners nice and square. And now you're done! Simplicity's S9012, this Cynthia Rowley dress, is such a fun and unique dress. Be sure to like and subscribe. Until next time!